Good morning. Today is 6th of September. It's 8 in the morning. This is EURUSD 5-minute chart. Yesterday's trade was around this level here. We had trend line. We had a breakout. We had a retest. I had my entry here. I had my stop loss exactly here. After this move, this initial swing, I had my stop loss at break even. I got stopped out here for break even, and I had to go to work, and then the market kept rallying all day. So I think from now on I won't have my stop loss at break even, because it is so hard for me to re-enter. Once I already put the stop at break even, it's so hard for me to re-enter. The trade will be either a win or a loss. So assuming that this was my first trade, I had a sell position here with a stop loss here. If I did not take profit and I believe the market is coming back, I would just exit manually, but my stop loss would be put up here. I believe moving my stop loss very quickly to break even is just a mistake. Well, this is an uptrend here, so today I'll be looking to take a long position, but of course based on my setup. So if my setups give me a long position entry, I'll take it. If not, then not. So I want to wait for a good setup to emerge, then I'll take a long position. For now I have this that I just deleted. This trend line is valid. Make it a yellow trend line. This is support, 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 support. I would say always the third touch is the most effective. So 1, 2. This is the third touch here. We got this. We can call this whole thing the third touch. And we got this one. The market is coming back down to it. Makes me wonder why. Yeah, but overall I'm looking for long entry. We had a breakout of this pullback. Market's trying to hold at the moving average. I want to take a long position here. That's based on the fact that this was a resistance, then we had a breakout, and I'm assuming this is going to hold as support. This is not my setup. So an entry here with a stop loss here. I just want to stick to two simple setups: the trend line pullback setup and the trend line reverse setup, and this is what I'm actually just aiming to do. I'm gonna hide this trend line for now. I'm gonna delete it for now. So I have this yellow trend line here, was working as support, and again working here as support. We had a breakout, came here and tested as resistance. So what I will do is that I'll wait for the market to come up here and then take a short position, hoping that this is going to continue lower. My entry should have been here with a stop loss somewhere here. So I'll just wait. Maybe I'll get an entry. So the trade is still valid. If it just gets a little bit of a pullback here, I'll take an entry short. Back again, this is a trend line reverse setup. On a trend line reverse setup, this is a trend line pullback setup and a 1.5% per trade for a trend line reverse setup. So I'm going to risk 1.5% here. $1.4 because there's commissions. The stop loss is going to be 6.2. I can open a position of 2.2, risking 140. Now this is more than what I'm comfortable with, but I'm not looking to be comfortable. Again, 2.2. Oh, come on. Risking 140. Just hoping to get a pullback here. Just a pullback, just in this area. Come on, before you go down. Up, up, up you go. Okay, so obviously there's buyers at this yellow trend line here, which is connecting this swing low with this swing low here, and there's buyers immediately started buying. I'm not looking to buy, I'm looking to go short, so I'm hoping I'm gonna get a bounce. I could get an entry before market keeps going lower. So I'm hoping for something that looks like this. I'm hoping market will bounce just enough for me to get an entry somewhere up here. So my original entry was supposed to be right at this red trend line. As the market comes just a little bit up, I'll take a short position immediately. Overall, market is in a triangle, making high, low, lower high, and also higher lows. So it's a triangle. Triangle is a breakout mode, which means this could happen, or a combination of both. One very interesting pattern that I like to see is this. When the market breaks in one direction and then immediately reverse to the opposite direction. Come on, just a pullback. Okay, what if the market just broke down right now? What's my plan? Well, my plan is to play this instead. Support, support, support. I'm hoping for a breakout, come back again to it, test it as resistance, and then hoping the market will go lower from there. What could be really interesting if the market actually breaks down and comes back here, and this is very common actually. So basically it's a trend line reverse at the same time as a trend line pullback setup. So this one here, I'm gonna make it blue, test it as resistance, we come back again to it, and then it's a trend line pullback setup, and we test it as resistance. Okay, I'm getting ready to enter here, and I'm in. Yep. Yeah, back again here. So resistance, resistance, and if the market comes back here again and test it as resistance, and then we go lower, or this yellow trend line here, test as support, support, and then break below it, and then reverse setup. So that will be really interesting. If the market comes lower, then comes back here again, I'll also take another short position here. Okay, back to my rules. This setup is what? This setup is based on taking a short position here. Is based on what? Based on this trend line here. Okay, support, support, and right now here working as resistance. So this is, yeah, this is the base of this trade. Let's just make it clear by removing everything here. This blue trend line was working as support, 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 tried here to support, came back down, double bottomed, came back again to it, and tested as resistance. And this is the base of this trade. This well, this bar is pretty strong, bullish bar. Anyway, what I wanted to say, yeah, so generally my entry would have been here with a stop loss here, and a profit target of the entry for trend line reverse setup. Profit target would be a 2 to 1. So profit target would be somewhere around these lows if the market was to be generous enough. Risking 140, so around 280. Come on, down you go. Right now I'm not touching the break even, not moving it. Yeah, I'm not touching the stop loss, moving it to break even. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just sitting here waiting patiently. If the market was to come down, so be it. If the market was to go up, so be it. That's it. And obviously the market's saying I'm going up. Why the market is going up here? Well, let's see. Market is playing this trend line here. Now this trend line is very valid for a long setup. Why I did not take it? I know why I did not take it. So here we had a very strong upswing. Here we had a very strong upswing, which is good. And then here we had a weak upswing. So usually what I want to see that the market is actually going. Another weak upswing. Weak means making lower lows. That's what a weak swing is. So when we came back again to it, this swing made a higher high. We came back, made a lower high. Came back again, so made a lower high. Well, it's a higher high compared to this, but it's a lower high compared to this. And here, this is the third time. Let's see. Let me review some old pictures. let's get this. This is a trend line pullback. Let's see some of these pictures here. We had a low, we had a lower low, and it's not necessarily an old trend line, just it's forming at the moment in a downtrend, and basically it's a with trend setup. And the entry is here. Even if, yeah, if you take the argument that here that was offering trend reversal setup, well, yes, it was. I was in this one, and I will give priority to a with trend setup. But this is not what I did here. It's an uptrend and I'm going short. Interesting. Very interesting. This trend line here working as, I think I'm screwed. I think I made a mistake. Okay, let's see. Just review what's going on here. Resistance. If I want to take a long position, it would have been here. I think this trend line setup, yeah, my two setups are so subjective, not objective. So it's not black and white. There's so many room for possibilities. Yeah, I believe I made a mistake. I think I want to exit and reassess. Do I feel so much emotions because I have a bigger position size than usual? I think it is, yeah. Me wanna go and exit. I think no, I'm not doing this. Okay, I wanna observe what my brain is doing here, because well, this is a bigger position that what I'm usually comfortable with, and I'm comfortable with 0.5%. This is a 1.5%. And I'm not very comfortable with this, but I think it's okay. The goal is not to be comfortable. The goal is to be making money. Okay, I'm gonna remove all these trend lines because there is so much to watch. I'm gonna reset the chart, and I'm gonna focus on what's here, because if I can draw 1,000 trend lines coming back from here, I think I just want to gather data from what's happening in front of me. Okay, let's see. There is this very valid trend line. This trend line is valid, and it gave me a high, and it gave me a higher high. So generally it's a valid trend line. Okay, this is the fact number one. This trend line is valid. Okay, market is in a breakout mode obviously here. Come on, lower low, come on. Down you go. Down you go, you can do it, come on. Oh boy, this is so stressful. What the heck? Let's see, I have this trend line here that worked. Okay, it's not a good looking trend line, even if I have it here. It's not a good looking trend line, so I'm gonna discard it. Okay, I have a trend line that's here. Market is struggling to close here in a bearish way, but that's a good looking bull bar, but there is no follow through. So bulls who entered here, I hope they are trapped and screaming. But right now this candle is not looking good at all. I had here two candles struggling to close below the moving average, and the market started to rally. This one did not close below the moving average. Did not. Closed bearish, but it did not close below the moving average. Interesting. My brain is saying, close the trade, close the trade. Shut up, my brain, shut up. Okay. This trend line here, the red trend line, working as support, 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 and right now valid resistance. Okay, and I had my entry. So I missed my entry, and then I got another entry and I took it. Took it. Okay, and this is the base of this trade. This trade is based on this red trend line here. Support turned into resistance, took a downswing, and right now pullback, and I took an entry at the pullback at the same place where I would usually enter, and my stop loss is just above the high here. This is the second candle stalling and struggling to close below the moving average. This is just something to notice. Went all the way down and now it's reversing up. This is not good. Yeah, but I judge a candle on a candle close. So I still have 3 minutes before I judge this candle. And I say, hey, do I want to close the trade or do I want to stay in the trade? This candle is closing in a very bullish way. Likely price is coming up higher. And people who played this blue trend line, they have a stronger setup than I do. What did I just say? I said if it comes and it closes in as a white candle, I'll close the trade. But this is not part of my plan. I just improvised. Now I just improvised. Why? Because I don't trust the setup. I don't feel good in this setup. Because there is a bullish setup here that looks stronger than this bearish setup. Interesting. And because the market is in an uptrend. So this is why I'm not feeling comfortable with this setup. Here it comes. Here it comes. I'm gonna judge it after 1 minute and 30 seconds. Not now. And what if it comes up here? Okay, I lost my internet. Okay. Okay, what the heck? Yeah, what if it comes up here and goes lower? And I exit my position here at break even, and then I watch this happen. How would I feel? How would you feel? Just tell me, how would you feel? Okay. How would you feel seeing this happening? Terrible. Okay. Feel like, why did I exit? I had a good entry, I hit a good stop loss, just a little pullback, man. Keep your shit together, for God's sake. Exactly, keep it together. This is the setup you played. That's it. Again, I said I judge candles. At the close of the candle, it was a very bullish candle. And look how it closed. That's not looking good for the bulls. If I'm a bull and I entered up here and I see my candle, my entry candle closing like this, I wouldn't feel great. Oh man, I'll feel bad. Sitting here to monitor each candle. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Should I just pause the video, go out, get some fresh air, come back again to see the result, the final result, or I need to be sitting here observing the new information that presents itself? Because each bar is new information. The market is giving you information. Going out and just coming back to look at the final results means you're ignoring the information the market was giving you. One area of concern. Mindig, there is an area of concern all the time. There is an area of concern. It thinks I'm looking at to invalidate my trade, to prove myself wrong. This candle here failed to close below the moving average, and then comes the next candle, failed to close below the moving average, and then comes this candle that's developing now, is struggling to close below the moving average. These two bars here close below the moving average, and immediately there is a strong bar. Let's go up again. This is important. This information is important. If the market is struggling to close above the moving average, it's important. It means something. Yesterday's trade was a short position. Market came down, struggling here at the moving average, closed back above the moving average after this upswing, and then it kept pushing higher. this red trend line in and itself is not a good setup for me. It's not a good trend line pullback setup for me, because usually what I want to see from a trend line pullback setup is the market making lows, coming back to it, making lower lows, coming back to it, and I expect another lower low. What happened here is a triangle breakout mode. Low, higher low, and then we're coming back again to it. I want to see how the market will react to it. Right now I'm underwater. Oh boy, I'm trapped. It's alright. It's important to see how the market is going to react. Again, there is new information presenting itself. The new information is markets struggled to break below the moving average, and then you had a big bull bar. Well, these are new information that need to be considered. And then closed a very strong bull bar at its high. Again, I want to be in the market when the market is more bearish than bullish. This candle opening in a very bearish way like this, good, but there's still 4 minutes, so I cannot judge it right now, because it could close up here for all I know. My first impression when I came to the chart in the morning, I said I want to be a buyer. This is the first thing I said in the morning. Hey, look at this, it's an uptrend, I want to be a buyer. Well, this was an uptrend yesterday. Doesn't necessarily mean it's an uptrend today. So I always look at what happened in the past and I try to predict what happened in the future, but I look so far back. Well, in reality, I want to be focused on just this area in front of me here. I think it has all the information I need. This is the last 9 hours. This candle is looking good for now. Let's see if we can get a close below the moving average. 2 minutes. If it ends up closing up here, I think I want to exit out of my position. Yep, exactly. This is exactly what I don't want to see. But again, what if I exit out of my position and then it just keeps going lower? Well, it's all about, is it based on your setup? Because anything could happen. It could go lower, it could go higher, anything could happen. But what is the setup? The setup is, okay, let me show you what is the setup. Where's my pictures? The setup is that you have a trend line that's making low and then making a lower low, and then you enter on the third one. You have a trend, you're going with the trend mainly. You have a high, you have a higher high. You have a high here, and then you have a higher high here. Setup is invalid because here I have a low, and then here I have a higher low. So setup here is invalid. So there is no entry. Here you have a low, here you have a higher low. Setup is invalid, there is no entry. I believe you should exit and reassess. And maybe you get trend line reverse setup. Okay then. Unfortunate, dude. I know it's coming higher, but somehow I don't want to exit the trade. I don't want to take my loss like this. Because it's bigger loss than usual. Guess what? It's just gonna get bigger. Come on, a little bit down. Guys who are hoping this is a double top are screwed. Okay. I'm screwed. Oh my god. I didn't know that this opening a bigger position gonna put me in so much emotions. Setup is not valid anymore. Yeah. And this setup is also not valid. So I'm still in a position with the setups are not valid. Oh boy, I'm sweating. Okay, I'll stopped out here. Yep, stopped out. Should have taken my loss actually the moment this came back again up here at this candle. Would have been very realistic. I ignored all the new information the market is giving me, which is like the market is struggling to close above the moving average. These are new information. I'm going against the main trend. This setup is not valid because it has a low. And then after the second touch we had a higher low. So when you say a low and then a higher low, setup is invalid. All I can hope for right now is for this market to come back down up here, a little bit up, and then down, and I'll take a long position somewhere down here. Interesting. Okay, I went back to review what happened. So market had clearly was respecting this green trend line. Support down here, made a high. Another support here, made a higher high. And then we came here and I started focusing on this high. Even here, it made a high and then it made a higher high. So clearly the third touch was valid. My setup was not valid. My setup that this here could hold as resistance, we had a low, we had a higher low. So this setup, I was in a setup that's not valid. My bad. I just try to make sure this does not happen again in the future. High, 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 third touch. This is the entry without confirmation. This is a pull. Yeah, you see, it's like a high, come back, a higher high, come back, entry without confirmation. Here, high, come back, higher high, entry without confirmation. High, lower high, no entry. Setup is invalid. High, higher high, high, higher high. Setup is valid but failed. Market came here, did not respect it, and actually kept going lower. High, higher high, third touch, and so on. High, higher high, entry without confirmation. Point I'm trying to make is this was way more valid. It's based on yesterday's price action and today's price action, overnight's price action all together. I could wait for the market to come back down here, or hopefully down here, and I take an entry. Market is coming back here again to this red trend line. Work it as resistance, resistance, breakout, and I believe we can get a flip. This trend line reverse setup is based on confirmation, so I gotta wait for one white candle and then I have my entry above the high of this white candle, and I'm risking 1% per trade on this. Market is approaching this red trend line here and I want to see how to react to it. If it will put any white candle, my entry will be above it. Took a long position here based on this trend line, working as resistance, resistance, market flipped it as support, tested twice. Every time market bounced and closed near its high. And then I took a long position immediately up here once market took the high of the prior candle's high. took a long position. I have a wide stop, and I'm going to be targeting a 2 to 1. This is a trend line reverse setup. Market might be actually coming to test this trend line instead. If this one here, I need to still optimize this setup. If I do it this way, it means I should have waited for the market to come down here. Market obviously finding support at this area. If I do it this way, market has already found support once and twice, and I entered at the high of this candle. That's not going well. I think I'll be stopped out again here. We'll have to take the low. We'll have to take the low. It's not coming all the way down just to reverse back up. It will take the low, and everyone who took a long position up here would be trapped. For a trend line to be valid, market need to test it at least 3 times. And I believe I need to incorporate this as part of my criteria for a trend line, because you can draw thousands and thousands of trend lines on the chart. Okay, this candle here is climactic. It's a big candle that would attract profit takers. So tough if I should take profits here, or I should just be patient and give it more time. Generally, I want to be patient and give it more time. Okay, the mic was muted. It's a catastrophic day. Took a trade. Market give me 1-to-1. I let a winner become a loser. This is so frustrating. Where is it a good area to take profits? This is something I need to work on. Do I take a long position here? I think I'm done for the day. I don't want to risk, yeah, getting above this threshold. I'm done for the day. It's not worth the risk. Tomorrow I can try again, no big deal. Okay, quick review of what happened today. Came to the market, took a short position here. Where did I take a short position? Yep, here. Market went down just a little bit. My short position was exactly here. And I was hoping I'm gonna get a 3-to-1 or a 2-to-1. Market did not make it all the way down. Reverse back up, get stopped out. And it was clear that this setup is not valid. This trend line is not tested. It's an uptrend. What was more valid is this trend line here. This green trend line here work as support better than this red line will work as resistance. It's tested once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So that was a good entry long. Plus I had this channel, bear channel. Market broke out of it, came back to test it, likely will test as support. So that was an area of confluence here for a good long entry. Anyway, after I got stopped out, I realized, I knew before I get stopped out that this is a triangle. The 30-minute, the 15-minute. This triangle had a breakout. We're coming back down to it. Anyway. Decided to take a long position here above these wicks based on this blue trend line. was working as resistance, market flipped it as support, and I took a long position up here, and market gave me a 1-to-1. What I did, I let it turn into a loser. This is very bad trading management on my part. I believe if I would thank myself if I just took the small profits. I think I know what is the biggest mistake. The biggest single mistake is not calculating the EV, or the expected value from a trade. Means what? Means where the trade is likely to go. I'm not trading again for the day. I'm done, and I'm gonna exit from this to make sure I'm done, because I'm so inclined to take another long position here. I'm done for the day. Expected value from a single trade means if I enter somewhere, where do I expect the market will go? Where the market is likely to go? So assuming that I took a long entry here with a stop loss here, do I expect the market to come up here? Well, the market could come up here, but is this the expected value from my trade? Or where do I expect it to go? Well, if I connect this one here with this one here, or just something like this. This is the beginning of a channel. Where do I expect this to go? I expect it to go up here, near the blue trend line. So if I enter somewhere here with a stop here, and I'm targeting the trend line, the blue trend line, well, I have a positive expected value, 4-to-1. Good, I can take the trade. But then I'm going to extend this, because it's going to work as resistance in the future. Okay, so where do I expect if I enter here? I'm still targeting the blue trend line. I still have positive expected value. Okay, assuming that I'm entering somewhere up here with a stop loss here. Well, 2.6 is still positive expected value for the market to come up to this blue trend line. Okay, assuming that I entered up here, which I did, with a stop loss here. What was my expected value with the blue trend line? This is 0.95. This is a negative expected value. Well, the expected value is the resistance that's actually holding as resistance. This is supposed to be my profit target, but hope is not a strategy. Yeah, I hope it will come up here. This is not a strategy. I'm supposed to calculate my profit target based or where it's likely to go, and then meet resistance, not based on hope. So entering up here with a stop loss here actually had a negative expected value. Well, I got a 1-to-1 from the trade, and I should have just exited there or whatever, I don't know, but it's not my plan. My plan is to get a 2-to-1. But you can clearly see that this market is likely to come down here again, especially that met resistance once, and then this bull candle sold and closed all the way down. Yeah, so that was a clear resistance. So So yesterday's trade, for example, which was here with a stop here, good entry, good stop. Where do you expect it to go? Assuming that I did not see any of this, where do I expect this to go? Was there gonna be some sort of level that you believe market could reach and will struggle to go higher? If you cannot find any level, you take a measured move. Okay, let's take a measured move. From down here to up here. Is this a good measured move? Let's see. Or another measured move would be the width of the channel. So this is the channel, and we had a breakout of the channel. Well, the first measured move actually would be top of the channel. A market reached top of the channel in this move. And I believe market could double the channel. Okay, then let's double the channel. Let's take the channel and double it. No, this is not double the width of the channel. This is too much. Double the width of the channel will be something like this. This, you get here, you get yourself a middle. Nope. You get the middle up here. And target. Target from my entry down here is likely to be somewhere, I guess, around here. That would make sense. Could make sense. Okay, another way to find an expected value. I'm brainstorming here till I search for it, and I just see what could be a good way. Yeah, good. I did not take a long position here. I did. I took a long position up here and I lost the trade. But I wanted to re-enter back down here. This is super extended. Guess it will go higher still. Anyway. Could this be a target? The market never came up here. The market actually did indeed come up here. Well, this could be a target. Leg, like, I don't know what you call it. AB equal to CD, something like this. So assuming that I have a channel forming here, I'm not gonna do it like this, I'm gonna do it with this one here. After the pullback we can get something similar here. Did this actually happen? Let's see. Well, of course it did. Market came all the way up here and started selling off. Another way to do it could have been from down here to up here, and then to up here, and then to up here, to give me this profit target. So bull spike, pullback. Let me green color them. And then the pullbacks, I'll red color them. So you get here, pullback, you get somewhere in this area, you expect a pullback, you get somewhere up here, and then you expect a pullback. From the lows, expect a pullback. Market is bouncing here. If I try to apply this here again, the green color, be looking to take profit somewhere up here. This is an expected value of a trade. Where do I expect this trade to go before we meet resistance? From down here to down here could be a target. Now could be a target up here. It was clear, yeah, that this resistance here is likely to hold, and any entry down here would likely to have an expected value just up to this. Okay, I'll end the video here. Tomorrow I'll try again.